am Vidushi and today I have brought chapter 4th of physics, that is work and energy. So we have heard of work, doing work, lots of work when we are preparing for exams, then we are just learning in chapters. So we think that we are working very hard, but in the language of physics or in the language of science, we are not working at all, because we can say work is done when there are two conditions. First, a force should act on an object, means some force should be there. In learning, there is no force which is acting, and object must be displaced. So, which thing is displaced in learning? Nothing. That's why we will say that work is not done while reading, while learning, or while preparing for exams, or while watching something, TV, etc. So we will say work is only done when there are these two conditions. Means firstly, the force should be acted on that object, and second, the object must be displaced. And we can only consider the displacement here, because if we take the distance, so something is right now at this point. Consider something, this is at this point, and this moves a distance till here, and after some times it came back there in the same point. Then position is not changed at all. When we will see that the object was still there, object will be still there, because there is no displacement in the object, because displacement is zero, but distance is doubled. If we take this 10 meter, so distance is 20 meters, because going and coming, that's why 20 meters, but the displacement is zero, because it goes there, this object goes there and again came there, so that's why displacement must be zero. So work, it has a formula, that is work is equals to force into displacement. So this is the formula for work. Force into displacement means first condition, force must be there, means force should be acted on that object, and second, displacement of the object must be there. So object must be displaced. We will not take this distance here, we will take displacement, because distance is the doubled now in 20 meters, but displacement is zero. So that's why we will say this object has not worked at all. Work is not done in this condition. And work is also not done when there is the force perpendicular acting. So if there is a force perpendicular on that object, that's why we will say that we are not working at all. Suppose that you are carrying a heavy load on your head and walking here and there to carry the loads from one place to another, then we will say that you are not working at all, because you are standing on that same position, but you are tired very much, you have lose your energy very much. So we are not saying that you are working a lot, because you are standing on that same position and you are not working, because the force is acting perpendicularly on your foot. That's why when there is a perpendicular force, then we are considering no work is done. So now let us discuss what is the SI unit of work. So the SI unit of work can be derived from its formula, as the formula of work is work done is equals to force into displacement. So this is the formula for the work, and we can derive its SI unit from this. So SI unit of force is Newton, and SI unit of displacement is meter. So the SI unit of work is Newton meter, or Newton meter is also known as joule. So the SI unit of work is joule, or we can say Newton into meter, Newton meter. So this is the SI unit. SI unit of work. So now there are three conditions when work can be zero, work can be positive or negative. So these are the three conditions. Let's see in which condition which positive, negative or zero is applied. So if we take an example, so this is an object and it is placed over a plane. So first we will talk about the positive work. When the work is positive, so if both the force and the displacement are in the same direction, then we can say the work is positive. For example, if we push this object with force F in this direction, then this will move in this direction. So displacement and force both are in the same direction, so we can say the work done is positive. This is the positive work done. But when the force and the displacement are in the opposite directions, means when we applied a force here and work done is negative here, because force is applying here, we are applying the force here and displacement is happening in this side. So majorly this condition is with the friction force, because friction force always opposes the motion. So if this object is moving in this direction, then what will happen, this object, when the displacement will in opposite direction, then we will say this is the negative work. So negative work, the force or the displacement, both or any one of them may be zero. So we can either write the formula as W is equals to F into minus S, this one, or W is equals to minus F into S. So both conditions are the same with the work is equals to negative. So work is negative when force is when force and displacement are in the opposite directions, and when force and displacement are perpendicular to each other, means when force is in this direction, means perpendicular, when force is applied perpendicular even downwards or upwards, and displacement is happening in this side or this side. So when it is making an angle of 90 degree, or we can say it is a perpendicular, so we will say the work done will be zero. So these are the three conditions which we can identify the work is zero, positive or negative. So if the work done is in the perpendicular direction or the force is in the perpendicular direction, then we can say work done is zero. And when this force and displacement both are in the opposite directions, then work done is negative. And when force and displacement both are in the same direction, then we will say this, the work done is positive. So let us take in examples. Mainly negative force is friction force, because friction always opposes the motion. We have already studied. So these are the three conditions which by which we can understand work can be positive, negative, or it may be zero. Now let us discuss what is 1 joule. So as the formula of work done is equals to force into displacement. So 1 joule, as we know, the joule is the SI unit of work. So when the force will be 1 Newton, force applied must be 1 Newton, and displacement must be 1 meter, then we will say the work done is 1 joule. 1 joule is the, we can define 1 joule as when the force is 1 Newton and displacement is 1 meter. When these both conditions are applied, then 1 joule, it is called 1 joule. So 1 Newton force should be applied and 1 meter displacement should be there, then it is called 1 joule. So it's very simple definition, you can make it from this formula only. So we have completed work here. Now we will move to energy. Now, what is energy? So the capacity of doing work is known as energy. So we have often heard about energy that if we are doing work, then we are losing our energy, and to obtain that energy, we have to eat some food to get energy back. So the major source of energy is the sun, which is the major source of energy, uh, because all the living beings, including humans, so they get energy from the plants. So humans get or animals get energy from the plants, and the animals which are not eating plants, means which are carnivorous, they are also getting from plants, because in indirect way they are eating the herbivorous animals, and herbivorous are eating plants. So in indirectly way, sun is the major source of energy of all the life forms on the earth. Almost every life forms depends on the sun's energy, and which is the major source of energy. Other than the solar energy, we have wind energy, tidal energy, and some nuclear energy, uh, which we can gain when we explore some atoms, when combination or explosion of atoms happens of nuclear reactors, such as uranium, thorium, etc. So they are radioactive elements, that's why we can also obtain energy from there. So energy is the basically has many forms, which we are going to discuss later. So energy is the capability or the capacity of doing work by which we can do work. So energy has the same SI unit, that is joule, because work has the SI unit joule, and energy totally depends on the work, the amount of work. When the work is done, then we are saying that we are possessing energy. So energy can be defined as the capacity of doing work, or the capability by which we can do work, then we are saying that we are possessing our energy, we are using our energy. And when we are suppose this is an object, and when we are possessing energy, means when we are acting a force on it, this is the force F, and it takes some displacement S. So displacement is S and force is F. So when we are possessing our energy, then our energy is transferred into this object, and this object will gain energy, and then it will move in which direction. So it depends on the direction. So energy is transferred from one form to another, because energy can neither be created and nor be destroyed, which we are learning in chemistry. So energy is transferring into different forms, from one form to another form. It is not created and neither be destroyed. So energy is transferred from our body to this object, and when this object gains our energy, then this object will move in the direction of the force. So it depends on the conditions of three conditions: positive, negative, or zero work. So energy is the capability of doing work. When we are working, we are saying that we are using our energy, we are consuming our energy. So this what is the energy. So now we will come to the forms of energy. But before going to the forms of energy, so sometimes the SI unit of energy is joule, because force means force and displacement, when they are both multiplied with each other, then we are getting work. And work uh, in the SI unit of energy, and SI unit of energy is joule, 1 joule. So 1 joule can be defined as the amount of work done should be 1 joule. When 1 joule work is done, then we are saying that energy is 1 joule. So it is depending on the work, the rate of energy we are doing. How much energy, how much work we are doing, that is the unit of energy, the joule. Sometimes we are taking kilojoules, means kilojoules. We are taking, because 1 kilojoule is equals to 1000 joules. So such as if we take an examples of kilometer, then 1 kilometer is equals to 1000 meters. Same is here, 1 kilojoule is equals to 1000 joules. So this is the biggest bigger unit, and even more bigger than this. Energy have many units. So but the SI unit of energy is joule. So energy have various types, various forms. Energy is found in various forms, such as if we talk about mechanical energy, it is a combination of potential and kinetic energy. So these are also the forms of energy. And heat energy, light energy, and tidal energy, wind energy, and nuclear energy, which is obtained from radioactive elements, and solar energy, the biggest or the major source of energy which we are getting on the earth, and chemical energy, and light energy is also the form, heat energy, sound energy. So these are the many forms of energies are there. So firstly we are going to discuss about kinetic energy in detail. So kinetic energy is the energy which is possessed by the moving object. When an object is moving, then kinetic energy is applied on it. When an object is moving, then it is having kinetic energy. Means any moving object, suppose it is a moving train or moving car, so it is having kinetic energy. So energy which is possessed by moving object is known as kinetic energy. Now kinetic energy has some formula, so we will derive it. It is only derivation of the formula. It is also derived by the formula for work. So W is equals to Fs, means force into displacement. So this formula we knew that, we have learnt. Now W is equals to, so force is equals to mass into acceleration, we have learnt. So we can write here, in place of force we can write as mass into acceleration, and here it was displacement. So here this is a new formula which we are getting here. So this is equation number 1. So now we know that from the third equation of motion, that is v square is equals to u square plus 2as. So this is the third equation of motion. Third equation. So now third equation of motion has u square, but here u is 0 because it is initially at rest, because this is the initial velocity and object is starting its position from 0 because it is at rest. So that's why initial velocity will be 0. So if we will square 0, then it is 0, and 0 plus 2as, that's 2as. So we can write it as v square is equals to 2as. So this only is the formula which we are getting, because u is 0 here. The initial velocity is 0 here because it was at rest and object was at rest. So now we are getting this equation, and we can write it as v square upon 2 because this was in multiply, and when we will just take it out from this equal to, then it will divide this final velocity, and this is as is remaining here. So this is equation number 2. And now as we can see in equation 1 and equation 2, as is here and as is here. So in place of as we can write w, but m is missing. So we can write it as w is equals to, because it is as, so m should be multiplied in equals to in the opposite side of equals to, that's v square upon 2 into m, because m was missing here and here it was m. So we have this equation. Now we will derive this 1 by 2, or we can just remain as it is. So w is equals to 1 upon 2 or half v square m or mv square. So we can write it as both mv square. So this is the formula, and in place of work, as we have learned, energy is the amount of work done. So we can write it as kinetic energy. Ke means kinetic energy is equals to 1 upon 2 mass into mv square. So this one is the formula for kinetic energy. So firstly we have the formula for work done. Work done is equals to force into displacement, and now we can remove this force by writing ma means mass into acceleration, because F is equals to ma. So in bracket we will write, since F is equals to m into a. So this was the reason why we have taken this ma here. And we know that third equation of motion, v square is equals to u square plus 2as, and v square then u square means initial position was already 0, that's why 0, if we square the 0 then plus the 0, then it will as it is remain as 2as, and v square equals to 2as. Then we have this 2 in multiplication, then it will go in division, and we have this formula, and this is equation 1 and this is 2. When we will derive this equation, then as is here and as is here, so we can write w in place of this. So w is equals to, then m is missing here, so we will multiply this m into the equal to side, and we can write mv square, and we can derive it 1 by half from there. And in place of w, because work is the rate of the energy is the work done, because so we can write it as kinetic energy is equals to 1 by 2 mass into 1 by 2 mass into final velocity and square. So this one is the formula, Ke is equals to 1 by 2 mv square. So this is the formula for kinetic energy. Now we will move to potential energy. So now potential energy is the energy which is stored in the object which is going to be moved. So potential energy is the energy, stored energy. As we know that when someone plays with the toys, some baby, some children play with the toys, then what happens? They just fill up the keys of that toy, and then just leave it, and then it moves by its own, because the potential energy is stored in that toy. That's why after after removing the key, the object or the toy is stopped. So potential energy is stored in an object. When an object will gain potential energy, that's why potential energy is converted into kinetic energy, and then an object starts moving from its place. So potential energy is the stored energy in an object. So it also has an equation. So we know that W is equals to F into S, force into displacement. So work done is equals to, force is here W is work done, F is the force, and S is the displacement, as we know. So this is the condition when displacement is in the height. So potential energy when applied on the height, when object is just thrown above or thrown from the top to the ground. So this condition is that one. So when this is the height condition, so here this what we'll say this displacement, we will take it as height of an object. So this will be taken as height, because displacement is this one. So from here to here, this is the displacement. So that is why, and it is the height. So we will remove this displacement and we will take it as height. And force is equals to mass into acceleration. So m into a, and instead of s, instead of displacement, we will write as height. And we know that acceleration is caused by gravity, because it is thrown down or thrown up. So gravitational force is also there. So gravitational force is also acting. So in the previous chapter we have learned that gravitation can be written in the form in the place of this acceleration. So W is equals to m G, because here gravitational force is here, and H. So this one is the formula. So in place of W we can write it potential energy, because energy is just taken up by the work. So PE means potential energy is equals to mgh, means mass into gravitation into height. So this is the formula for potential energy. So you can write it down. And now we will move to our next topic. So now, interconversion of energy. How can be the energy converted into one form to another? Suppose that we are the humans or the animals have the mechanical energy, which they may be kinetic energy or potential energy. So mechanical energy can be converted into kinetic energy. So this one is the process. Or kinetic energy may be converted, kinetic energy can be converted into potential energy, or potential energy can be converted into kinetic energy. So energy conversion of often take place anywhere, anytime. Even energy conversion takes place during all times. So if we take an example of photosynthesis, then light energy is converted into the glucose. So energy conversion is taking place every time, everywhere. So light energy, when we are just opening our bulb, then what happens, it is having the electrical energy, means electrical energy. So electrical energy, when when electrical energy moves down into the wire and then glows the bulb, then it is changed into light energy. So it is changed into light energy, and after some time you can feel some heat coming out from the bulb. So light energy is then converted into heat energy. So conversion of energies can take place anytime, anywhere. So electrical energy can be converted into further more energies, and hydel energy can be converted into electrical energy, because water is used to make energy. So hydel energy is used to change it into the electrical energy. So mechanical energy is getting by the solar energy. Solar energy is converted into light energy or heat energy. So there are many forms of energies, and interconversion of energies take place anytime, anywhere. So now we will move to the law of conservation of energy. And every time law of conservation of anything states that the energy, if we are taking energy, so energy can neither be created nor be destroyed. It can be only transferred, can be interconversed from one form to another. It can't be made or it can't be destroyed. So conservation of energy can be understood by an example. So if we take an object, this is an object and it is placed down. It is just leave down to the ground. So what happens, suppose that this at this point, this is the initial position. So here the potential energy, let it consider be 100. So potential energy is 100, and it is just throwing down. When it will be thrown down, then what will happen? What is the formula for potential energy? So potential energy is equals to mg and h. So at the initial position, at the starting point, the potential energy is the highest and kinetic energy is the lowest. And when will it start moving down, then kinetic energy is increasing slowly and potential energy is decreasing slowly. So kinetic energy is equals to half mv square. So if we have a look here, so both the potential and kinetic energy, when both sum together, then their sum will always be 100 at each point. So when kinetic energy is gained by this object, when it is just stopped at the position, then potential energy is 100. When it is moving down, down and more down, so what will happen? Kinetic energy will increase. Why? Because it is gaining the velocity. It is gaining velocity because mass is the same here. Okay, then velocity is gained by that object, and when velocity will increase, then kinetic energy will also increase, and potential energy will decrease. Why? Because height is becoming 0, because height is just decreasing, and at this last point it will become as 0. So height is decreasing, that's why potential energy is least, and kinetic energy, because the velocity is increasing, that's why kinetic energy will be more while moving down. So if we have a look, suppose this object is here, then potential energy of its is suppose potential energy is 75. So kinetic energy, how much velocity does it increase? So kinetic energy must be 25, because when we will sum it, then it will become as 100. So both the conservation means total energy will remain same constant even. So if we take an example here, then here suppose that final velocity is kinetic energy is 50, then potential energy is also 50, because potential energy is decreasing and kinetic energy is increasing. At this point, suppose that kinetic energy is the 75 and potential energy is 25. So potential energy, as you can see, it is decreasing. 25, kinetic energy is increasing. Then firstly it was 25, then it became 50, then it became 75, and at this point it will become 100. So this is the highest kinetic energy which the object have, and here potential energy is equals to 0, because height is 0, and when we will multiply gravitation and mass, so it will always become 0. So that's why potential energy is 0 and kinetic energy is highest, that is 100. And you can also have a look here, that potential energy decreasing. Firstly it was 100, then it became 75, then 50, then 25, and then 0. So potential energy is decreasing and kinetic energy is increasing. So total energy is remain conserved. So both, when we will add these, so PE plus KE means potential energy plus kinetic energy. So we will get constant, and that is 100. You can take any example. So this is the law of conservation of energy. So now our next topic is rate of doing work. So rate of doing work is called power. So we have already heard about power. We have so much of power to lift one suitcase or two suitcase, three suitcase, such as. So power is something which is rate of doing work. How much work we can do in a certain period of time, that is called as power. So absolutely rate of doing work. When there is a rate added to any word, it means it is taken in comparison with the time. Rate of doing work means work is divided by time. So power is denoted by capital P. So P is equals to work and rate of doing work, so W upon work upon time. So this is the formula for power. Power is equals to work upon time. So the SI unit of power cannot be the joule, because joule per second, because the work has the unit joules and time has seconds. So the unit of power is joules per second or joule second and power -1 or -1. So this is the unit for power, but for higher power, because power is used in day-to-day life, so that is why we are using the commercial unit of power, and commercial unit of power is kilojoules hour. So this is the commercial unit of power, because it is uh, used as at a high level, because joules cannot, because every time power is used by our household electrical applications, so that is why power is cannot be measured in such a small unit. That's why for a bigger unit, commercial unit, in the commercial place, we will use the power, the the commercial unit of power, that is hour kilojoule per hour. So this one is the commercial unit of power. And joule per second, this is also known as watt, W-A-T-T, watt, and it is denoted by W. So this is also the unit of power, as we know that work, the SI unit of work is joule, but in actual it was Newton into meter. So that's why joule per second is also known as 1 watt. So power is the rate of doing work, how much work is done in the certain period of time, that is known as power. So power has the unit watt, and for for calculating the higher powers, so we will use the unit of watt as kilowatt. So we will use kilowatt. And how can we define 1 watt? So 1 watt is equals to, when the power will be 1 watt, when work done will be 1 joule and time is taken 1 second, then we will say the power is 1 watt. So here 1 joule work, when 1 joule work upon 1 second, time taken is 1 second, then we will say 1 watt is power is running out there. And for higher units, we will use as kilowatt. So kilowatt, 1 kilowatt has 1000 joules. So 1 kilowatt has 1000 joules per second. 1 kilowatt is equals to 1000 joules per second, or we can say 1 kilowatt is equals to 1000 joule per second, or 1000 watts. So this is the higher units and this is the lower units. Watt is the lower and kilowatt is the higher units. So now we will come to commercial unit of the rate of doing work, that is power. Commercial unit of energy is kilowatt hour, because joule is very lesser unit to measure any of the energy. So kilowatt hour is used for calculating any of the commercial unit of energy. This is known as commercial unit. So if we talk about 1 kilowatt hour, then this is equals to 1 kilowatt means 1000 watts, and hour, how many seconds are there in a 1 hour? So there are 3600 seconds. So this means that watt and seconds went together combined, and this is also known as joule. This is the unit of work. So that's why 1 watt hour is equals to 1000 into 3600, that is 36 lakhs. Yes, 36 lakhs and joules. So joules and 36 lakhs joules. So this can also be written as 1 kilowatt hour is equals to 3.6 into 10 to the power 6 joules. So this 1 kilowatt hour means 3.6 into 10 to the power 6 joules. So this is the commercial unit of energy, and at the domestic use, industrial use and commercial units, so we use the word units. So one units, because we use the 1 units of energy, 1 units of power is wasted or used, consumed. So that's why 1 units is equals to 1 kilowatt hour. One units is equals to 1 kilowatt hour. So this is the commercial unit of energy. So here we have completed our chapter. Hope you learned and liked this video. Thanks for watching.